welcome to another episode of In Brandon. I'm your host, Kevin Spooner, and this week we're talking about everything multicultural. Big festival coming through town, and we're going to see what all these pavilions are all about today. Very near and dear to my heart, we have been visited by the Scottish Pavilion, and they sent Heather and Sarah to come and chat with us about it. Welcome to WCG TV Studios. I hope you enjoy your stay, and I can't wait to hear all about the Scottish Pavilion. What do we have in store for us this year? I'll ask Heather.
Okay, so we've got lots in store. We're really excited about it. We've got the pipe band from Shiloh. We've got fiddlers, we've got Scottish country dancers, we've got a chorus, and what else? We've got haggis. Now, if you haven't tasted haggis, you don't know what you're missing. It's a great Scottish delicacy. I used to hunt it in Scotland, but not here. They just don't thrive in the prairies. But we have an Irish butcher who makes a beautiful haggis. That's Henry's Meats on the 270. And if you want a haggis, that's where to go.
Wow, that was a lot of information. All right. I'm going to give you the boring question, Sarah.
Perfect.
When and where?
So we are in the Imperial Ballroom at the Vic Inn. For many of our returning patrons we've had over years and years, they know the place, they know the spot. We're only open on Friday and Saturday, so February 7th and 8th, I believe.
Yep.
7th and 8th, yep. And so doors open at 6 on Friday, and we're partying until 1 in the morning.
Nice.
So we are so excited to have everyone back. And on Saturday, the doors open at 1, and then we close a little bit early just because it takes a little bit of time to clean everything up, and then we're done at 11. So we're excited to see everybody back this year.
No kidding. Well, cleaning bagpipes, that's got to be take a while.
Not
right?
my job.
Yeah.
So.
But we've already talked, there's going to be a regimental pipe band?
From Shiloh.
Yeah, so the 26th Field Regiment Pipe Band is the pipe band that we have, and we've had them at all of our events over the years, and we love them, and you just get goosebumps listening to the pipes. At least those of us that love the pipes always get the goosebumps when they come through.
You're right, my dog does not get goosebumps. My dog runs for the corner, or he growls at the TV. It depends what kind of mood he's in.
Obviously not a cultured dog.
No, not at all.
Not a Scotty dog either.
He's more of a heathen. And so what other types of acts can we expect to see at this year's Scottish Pavilion?
We have our chorus. So our chorus is a group of people that come together and they sing some traditional folk songs. They sing some newer Celtic style songs, and they're just here to come and entertain you. A lot of people will know the songs they're singing, and some of them might hear some new ones that are going on. As well as we have our accordion players coming in to do a couple of songs of accordion. So if you don't like the bagpipes, you might like the accordion. And then we have the Suzuki fiddlers coming in to do some tunes as well, and they're always so lovely to listen to.
Amazing. I heard them, I listened to them at City Hall once, and they brought the troupe in for a demo. And what they can do with kids that young is absolutely phenomenal.
It's amazing. Yeah. And there's so many of them.
And I'm not one of them. I wish I could play the fiddle or the bagpipes or anything cool like that, but sadly, not that musical.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well. Maybe next life, right?
Hey, there is a couple of guys that do bagpipe lessons. If you're interested, we can get you in contact with them for round
Yeah. Well, it's a great way to come, great reason to come check out the pavilion.
Absolutely.
If you're interested in any of those styles of music, you're at least co-located with someone that can put you in touch with an instructor that is suitable. What a wonderful additional reason to come visit the Scottish Pavilion. And we touched on haggis, but certainly there's more to eat at the Scottish Pavilion than haggis.
I mean, if you've ever been to a Scottish house, you know there's always plenty of food, and you'll always be offered your fly cup and a piece. Now, a piece is not some sort of fancy lady. It's shortbread or a cake and maybe a fruit loaf, and you're always welcome. So at our pavilion we have shortbread baked by Scottish ladies.
As if we didn't have enough reasons to go. Now we can go to the Scottish Pavilion to get a piece.
That's right. So we've also got braddies, or I think you call them bridies here, and pies, steak pies, and what else, Sarah Jane?
Sausage rolls for lunch on Saturday.
Oh, and scones as well.
Scones?
Yeah.
Oh, now we're talking. Getting hungry already.
Yeah.
My goodness. What does it take to put on the Scottish Pavilion? How much work is it? Who helped you do it? How hard was it?
Everybody helps. More hands make less work. Our committee currently is 6 people that work together on this, so it's a lot of work that's divvied up between 6 of us. We have so many volunteers that are coming back this year. We got new volunteers coming back. We always have to thank Norman Henry for making the food for us, because I can't make a steak pie to save my life. So we always appreciate him doing that. And yeah, just the Vic Inn being able to let us use our building and working together with us. We always appreciate it.
And what room at the Vic Inn was it?
The Imperial Ballroom. We got the big room.
Got the big room.
The big room.
Imperial. Sounds fancy. And will either of you be performing any types of...
I might share a couple jokes on the stage. This year I was handed over the MC baton from my uncle, so I will be around, and I'm sure you can find Heather somewhere walking around and get a good joke from her too. Maybe even a story about hunting haggis.
Well, this would be a great time and place to maybe rehearse one of those MC jokes that you've been
I can't give away all my tricks before the show.
Well, that is true. I was hoping maybe one that didn't make the cut.
Oh no, they all make the cut.
All make the cut. Nothing is left
unturned. Not at all.
That's
No.
I've got one that I heard yesterday. You know, we're just past Robert Burns Day, Robbie Burns.
Right.
And so there was this guy went in to the emergency room, or so he thought, and with a hurt ankle. And he sat down, and the guy next to him said, "Fair fa your honest sonsy face." And he turned round, and the woman next to him said, "Great chieftain o' the puddin' race." And a doctor came past, and he said, "Am I in the psychiatric unit?" He said, "No, man, you're in the Burns unit."
the Burns unit. Wow!
You might have to share that one.
Yeah, we might have a job for you at the Pavilion now. How are you with a microphone? That's such a cool, oh my, Scottish humor. Who knew?
That's one of the kind. The other thing we want to encourage is everyone to try Iron Brew. So Scotland is the only country in the world where Coca-Cola is not the #1 sold pop.
Yeah.
It's actually Iron Brew. So we're gonna have bottles of it, and it's for all ages. All ages.
I've never heard of it. Iron Brew.
Yeah, it's an orange pop. It's like a mix between creamsicle, bubblegum, and orange something. It's delicious. I love it.
It's indescribable.
It really is. You just have to experience for yourself.
Yet
it's-
another reason to visit
Yeah.
the Scottish Pavilion.
It's made in Scotland from girders. Now, if you don't know what girders are, they're the sort of iron beams that they used to use in the shipyards.
Girders, right.
So
right.
rusty girders,
Rusty
that's
girders.
the colour of Iron Brew.
We probably should have kept that to ourselves. Rusty girders and pop. Maybe not the best combination. I'm sure that's just how you describe the
That's
color
how you
of
describe
it, right?
the
It's
colour,
like a rust,
yeah.
like a rust
There's
color.
no iron in
There's no-
Iron Brew.
There's not.
And it was called Iron Brew.
Iron Brew. Yeah.
Neat.
BRU, not...
Oh,
Yeah.
BRU.
IRNBRU. Iron Brew. Yeah.
I'm learning so much. And I've never been to Scotland, but apparently I have relatives in Orkney.
Okay.
Yeah, how cool is that?
Well, you'd need to go because Orkney is beautiful. Well, the whole of Scotland is beautiful. But yeah.
What is it about Scotland that makes it such a tourist draw?
The people.
Is it yeah, I imagine. I thought you were going to say it was learning how to speak English again.
No, I think Scotland. You go to Scotland and you're Canadian, and they really embrace you over there, just like we embrace people from Scotland when they come over here. There's just a camaraderie about it. So, and the humor is the biggest thing in common, I think.
It's a sort of dry humour, and if someone, teases you, that, they like you. They're not picking on you. You won't get teased if they don't like you.
That is so true, and a great message. Teasing among friends is some of the most interesting conversation, because they really long friends that have been, growing up from kindergarten together, they take liberties that you and I, of course, would never, ever do.
Right.
So it makes it such an interesting conversation to be a third party to, because it's not very often now, I find, that you have lifelong friends, because we all separate, and careers and relationships are always spreading us apart. So when you come across people that have grown up together, they have a certain level of connection that is rare, and it's so much fun to listen to people interact that have grown up, and because it's a different style of conversation. And I would imagine that Scotland is probably a very close-knit community that really emphasizes that type of relationship.
Well, everything is so close together. I think you could fit Scotland maybe 7 times into Manitoba.
Oh my goodness.
And there's 5 million people in Scotland, about 55 in England. So Scotland is a lot less hectic and busy compared with England. But, you'll go 3 miles and it's a different village.
Right.
And it's everything is closer. And I grew up in Aberdeenshire, and I think growing up, everyone I knew had been born and bred in Aberdeenshire. But then there was North Sea oil was discovered, and the whole of that northeast became multicultural. So that rich dialect was kind of very much diluted. It's lovely to hear old farmers speaking. You probably wouldn't understand them.
Oh,
but
I definitely wouldn't understand.
I don't think I would understand them.
Yeah.
No, and you'll go 30 miles and the dialect is different. So I could probably tell you within 30 miles where you came from when you spoke a couple of sentences.
Just by the words you use and the accent.
The way you say them.
The way you say them, yeah. Imagine there's a lot of local slang. Newfoundland is another great example of that. If you go from one fishing village to the next, the language has a significant difference. Yeah. And have you been to Scotland? How often do you get back to Scotland? Have you been recently?
Well, I used to go back regularly because my mum was still alive. When she passed, somehow it wasn't home anymore. So I was back last year for the first time since she passed in 2010. And it was really wonderful. I had an Airbnb 3 miles from where we farmed. And I walked and I visited all my old friends and all my old haunts. I had the most amazing time ever.
I bet. Wow. And how often do you get?
I haven't been back in a long time. It's on one of my bucket lists to go back and see my family. They all came, like my great aunts and uncles came over last year for my cousin's wedding, so got to see them. But it's definitely on my to-do list is to get back over there and go see everybody, because what I remember, it was beautiful over there.
And what's the best time of year to go visit Scotland?
not the winter time when it's
Not
raining.
anything but winter.
You know,
But it really, for me, like they said, it would. When we went, that was the rain season, and it was sunny the whole time we were there and
Wow.
warm. So
you can never predict.
Yeah.
You know, you can get 3 or 4 different climates in one day.
kind of like a Manitoba spring there, over there.
Yeah.
I'd like hearing, of course, we always love hearing stories about people from Scotland coming to Canada, but it's such a nice connection back home to hear stories about how you still interact with people back in Scotland
Yeah.
and maintain that connection. It's very important, especially for family
Yeah,
and our older acquaintances, right?
that's right.
Yeah, and
Should old acquaintance be forgotten?
no, they should not be forgot. What are we forgetting to talk about? I'm not even sure. We got into such a wonderful discussion that I kind of lost
Well,
track.
of course, we never talked about our bar. And
There's a bar?
We have a bar. So we are bringing back the #1 sold beer in Scotland. It's called Tenants, and it kind of took a little bit of a hiatus from our pavilion for a little while, but we've got it back. It's like their version of Bud Light, but better, apparently. I'm not a beer drinker, but everybody loves it.
I'll take your word for it.
We're going to have a different array of scotch. So if you like scotch, we'll have some different ones for you to try. If you don't like scotch, we'll have something for you to try. We're going to have a Harry Haggis shot and a Rusty Nail shot. So it's the Rusty Nail is half Drambuie and half blended scotch. And then the Harry Haggis is half Glava and half scotch. And even if you have a Glava shot yourself, it is so good. I really like it. It's like an orange, warm orange liqueur. It just warms you from the inside. So, and gin. We'll have gin. #1 exported product from Scotland is gin right now. So
You're kidding.
yeah, they're the #1 exporter of gin. So we will
Wow.
have gin.
There'll be lots of gin.
Mm-hmm.
I got a kick out of how, haggis is such an odd sounding word already that you then decided to put Harry in
Yeah.
front of it to come
Yeah.
up with Harry Haggis.
Yeah.
Because haggis wasn't a hairy haggis.
Yeah.
Scotland seems to have a flair for dramatic.
Absolutely.
Did we talk about what kind of music we're going to listen to at the pavilion this year?
Yeah, I think we got the chorus and the pipe band.
The pipe band, but there was...
Talk about your band.
Oh, our 2 bands. So we have Midlife Crisis and Full Flannel Jacket.
There's a band I've heard.
Yeah, so Full Flannel Jacket will be on Friday night from 10 until 1. So come and kick off your shoes, and they're going to do some rock music and some some Scotland rock band songs and kind of get everybody going and dancing. And then we have Midlife Crisis, group of guys that are going to finish the night off on Saturday. And another kind of rock band, so.
Midlife Crisis, a band I already identified with.
Yeah, they're a pretty good group of guys.
But that is such an interesting piece of information. It's live music. It sounds like the whole event,
Yeah.
right? You have
Yeah.
2 bands. You have a regimental pipe band. You have choirs. That's quite a commitment for not only you and your organizers, but on a lot of musicians as well. You must have a very good relationship with musical acts in the area for all of this support to come your way. Congratulations, it's very well done.
And we try.
Yeah, I'm very impressed. I couldn't imagine trying to wrangle all of those moving parts to get all of these acts.
That's my Uncle Sandy's job, and he went to Rome, so he's not even here for this.
He went to Rome?
So he said, I'll organize your entertainment, you're MC, and I went, okay.
You're kidding. I thought he was avoiding this interview.
No.
That he bailed to Rome.
He flew on Monday, so he would be here, and he's always been here. He's always been the big voice on the stage, but this year he's on holiday, and that's okay.
What's
so.
his name again?
Sandy Donald.
Shout out to Sandy Donald.
Yeah.
Doing some of the heavy lifting.
Yeah, he did a bunch of the heavy lifting in the behind the scenes, so that is appreciated because I'm still working with our volunteers. So if anybody still wants to volunteer, we still have a slot for you. So
volunteers, very important.
Yeah.
We've already thanked the people that helped put put up the pavilion. Why do you guys put in all of the effort and time that is necessary to pull off something like this? What's in it for you?
Well, I think it's a celebration of our Scottish culture, and we don't want it to die. And I think the pavilions are a wonderful way of integrating all the cultures that are now in Brandon and showcasing our food and our music. When I came to Canada in '97, Brandon was very much a rural town. And now it's a multicultural society, so I think we've got to celebrate that.
Absolutely. Good, great answer. No pressure.
Yeah, how do I follow that? The first years that the pavilion started, I was one of the Highland dancers. So I grew up as a dancer in it, and then I didn't really dance anymore, and now I'm on the side putting it on so I can give those kids a dance, because those little Highland dancers are so cute with their little kilts.
I can't believe we forgot to mention.
They bring a crowd.
Yeah.
They bring a crowd.
I can't believe we forgot to mention the Highland dance. There's a very Scottish element that there's various festivals throughout the year, and the Highland dancers
We always
are always
appreciate
there.
them having time to come to the pavilion and dance. So.
Yeah, and one of the things that a lot of people don't know about Highland dancing is how much work it is.
Oh, it's a lot of work.
And how the dancers need breaks between routines, and they'll have a separate troupe of dancers to replace. One is resting while the other one is performing, and then they'll switch because it is. And I was filming some Highland dancers, and the sweat.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. It's energetic.
It's
I couldn't believe, and there was huffing and puffing and sweating and a lot of jumping. It seemed like a very physically demanding way to perform. It was very impressive.
It's a lot of work. Yeah.
I don't know how anyone could do it, but I suspect that's why you make the kids do it.
Yeah.
Well, that's wonderful. I want to thank you guys for coming down.
Thank you for having us.
Saying hello to us and telling us all about the Scottish Pavilion. It sounds like it's going to be a blast.
It's going to be fun. We are so happy to be back.
Can't wait to try out some dirty haggis.
No, not hairy haggis.
Okay, we'll do it your way. Hairy haggis, fine. Awesome, thank you very much. And that brings us to the end of another episode of In Brandon, but what a wonderful time it has been, and we'll see you next time.